AAA is actually in free fall right now. Even Zero Hedge is commenting about this. It's hard to miss, like when the world's biggest entertainment industry is outright crashing. Yeah, like even more normie economists are going to notice. Gay dragons and black samurai, woke game companies in crisis as consumers walk away. I will repeat myself here. I love being in these wars where all we have to do to win is just walk away or not participate. It is so easy. The entertainment sector has been at the core of the woke movement over the course of the last 10 years. A little bit longer, but yeah, it only started getting really bad around then. Integrating racism, feminazism, gay and transformer propaganda, climate change hysteria, anti-guns messaging, and pro-socialist rhetoric into their content at breakneck speed. And now they're going broke at breakneck speed. I think it's fair. I think it's only fair that this happened. This is natural selection. What they say, like that this isn't a grave, it's the future you chose for yourself. That's what we got to be telling all these AAA corpos. You chose this. You wanted this. We tried to fight against this. You resisted. Now you expect us to save you? Nah, you're on your own. So there's always been regressive politics in movies and TV, but this new social justice takeover was a highly coordinated tidal wave, a blitzkrieg of hard left ideology into every possible media space. And contrary to what they expected would happen, which I guess is like for lack of better options, we would just consume. The opposite happened. A lot of these entire media spaces are just collapsing because people have walked away entirely. One group of consumers noticed the threat early on. Gamers picked up on the leftist subversion of their hobby almost immediately in current year -12. They would go on to launch Gamergate in current year -11. I remember Gamergate. A movement to expose the feminazi hijacking of games, journalism, and the hobby at large. They were punished for their foresight, accused of misogynies, bigotry, racism, and even terrorism. But they were correct, and nobody listened. But in hindsight, I bet they all wish they did now. There was indeed a far-left agenda to dominate the gaming world and extort companies into adopting social justice propaganda. The plan succeeded spectacularly. Now, let me just say, this was only partly a success. It was a success in that it did consume and destroy the industry, but it was a failure in that upon being destroyed and consumed, the industry lost all of its power. So they may have taken it, but it's useless now. So in a way, we at least got that. We got that little W right there. The thing they took from us is now useless. And most corporations eventually folded and instituted DI programs outright. Gaming developers were some of the worst perpetrators, and their products quickly became replete with woke indoctrination. The one thing that they didn't count on, though, was a consumer revolt. Yeah, they never expected that the consumers would actually stop consuming. And to be fair, neither did I. That was a shock to me as well. But it's a pleasant one. So hard to say that what they expected. Maybe they assumed that once the market was saturated with leftist content, the average consumer would give up hoping for a normal game with a good story, compelling characters, and fun mechanics, and simply buy whatever the critics told them to buy. Instead, gamers stopped buying anything and walked away. Thank you. These guys get it. Either that or we just stuck to old stuff. Like, yeah, I guess I'm going to stick to the shit that's on my back catalog. That's fine. My backlog will keep me busy for a while. Any product with leftist messaging, race swapping, alphabet soup characters or situations, etc., is exposed long before the project is released. The more insidious developers have actually sought to stop people from reporting on the content of these games using intimidation and legal measures, but nothing they do will save them. Yeah, if anything, the intimidation and legal threats will just make them even more hated. It's not going to work, guys. These businesses are rightfully collapsing. And I am getting every bit of enjoyment I possibly can out of it. Could not have happened to a better industry. Most recent casualties include Ubisoft, which reportedly stands on the edge of financial ruin due to multiple woke failures. Yeah, and not to mention they were running at a massive loss for years on end, building up to the launch of these multiple woke failures. So it is extra devastating for them. Ubisoft is also sitting on perhaps one of the most woke AAA releases of all time, Ass Creed, We Was Samurai, and Kuso. I don't know if it's worse than Concord, but it might. Wouldn't it be funny if it performed worse than Concord, though? It won't, but it'll be funny if it did. The group hitched their wagon to the activist historian named Thomas Lockley with a wild tale, supposedly the true story of a black slave named Yasuke, who traveled on a Portuguese ship to Japan and became a samurai. Instead of making a game about a Japanese samurai in Japan's Azuchi Momoyama period, they instead chose to use Lockley's research as the basis of their plot. So leftists are known for being particularly hostile towards the Japanese because of their highly controlled immigration policies. Featuring a black samurai protagonist is obviously meant as a jab at Japanese culture. Yeah, this was a targeted attack on Japan. They knew what they were doing. 100%. They knew what they were doing. So as it turns out, Lockley's research is likely exaggerated or fabricated. I think we know which one it is. And he has been accused by the Japanese government of potential fraud. Oh, are they going to take legal action? Maybe they could go after him when they go after Visa and MasterCard. Yasuke was never a samurai. He was treated as an oddity by the Japanese emperor who had never seen a black man before. He became a fixture at the emperor's court for a short period, but was never given the title of samurai, nor did he have time to learn any of the warrior disciplines that samurai are renowned for. The man existed, but the idea of him being a samurai is complete fiction. But we were samurai in Kuso. Statements made by Ubisoft also seem to indicate the characters of Ass Creed will be gay, including Yasuke. So a black gay samurai in feudal Japan who was supposed to be an assassin? Genius. He wouldn't stand out at all. I know, I wouldn't notice. It looks just like every other samurai on this street. Ubisoft is stuck with this project. Hundreds of millions of dollars already invested, and they have delayed the release multiple times. Most gamers are well informed about of the fallacies and propaganda that in the title, and is expected to bomb hard once it's finally put on the market. Sometime in March now, apparently. I think people are still going to be playing Monster Hunter then. May want to delay it even further. The company is now engaging in mass layoffs across multiple studios, apparently in preparation for vast sums of money they're about to lose. No, it's a combination of the money they've already lost and knowing that they're not going to be making it up. Like if Ass Creed, We Was Samurai, and Kuso was tracking to be a massive hit, they would not be laying people off. At least not in these numbers anyway. Yeah, Tencent can't buy Ubisoft fast enough. Yeah, I hear the French government would try to block if Tencent actually wanted to buy them. So if I was Tencent, I would just buy some of their IPs. Like, just let the company collapse and like buy the Ass Creed IP at the bankruptcy auction or something. That might be the best thing they can do from their own perspective. Another big developer that's in the midst of an implosion is Bloatware. Which is now being downsized by Electronic Arts, and after an embarrassing release of the highly expensive Drag Queen Age, the Fail Hard title. The company hired gay and transformer consultants and developers to inject Abatsu propaganda into the fantasy project, and as a result were hilariously bad, including trans dragon people, gay pirates preaching about neo-pronouns. That's what gamers want. The layoffs come less than 2 weeks after Drag Queen Age game director Corian Bush announced his own departure from BioWare, and just a week after EA said the Failhard had underperformed sales expectations. In reality, the game was an unmitigated failure. EA said Failhard was down nearly 50% from the company's expectations. And remember, those were the low end, and that's not the sales either. That's engagements. The fact that they're not mentioning actual sales, it must be really bad. If they're not even gonna even acknowledge those numbers. So gaming developers were some of the first people to join the woke insurrection of American media. So it's fitting they're now among the first to go bankrupt and lose their jobs because of it. I agree. They wanted this. Let's give it to them. Get woke, go broke. Hopefully, these collapsing companies will stand as a smoldering reminder that the consumer runs the show, not the creators. Yep, and this is what I've been saying from the start. Like, instead of trying to save these dead companies, I'm a lot more interested. I want to send a message to future companies. Yeah, don't ever think of turning on your fans like this. The free market is still a thing, and it dictates if a game is going to succeed or crash and burn. The gaming industry and its hubris has been begging for a slap in the face for years, and now they have it. Yeah, and now they're going to try to keep appealing to your nostalgia or your emotion in general. Now it's going to be all about, hey, remember the good old days? Yeah, you don't want us to go out of business, do you? Remember how we used to make things you liked? If you give us another chance, then maybe we can do it again. Maybe. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, even games as a service can't make line go up. Now that's absolutely true. Actually, that's what Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League was. It's what Concord was. Even the gacha games, like I think the reason that across the board, every single one of them is turning up the sexiness to 11 is because they're all struggling. Like, they're still making money, they're still profitable, but it's slowing down. So they gotta they gotta lure more people in or keep their existing people there, preferably both. That's right. No titty, no buy. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? I don't think they're capable of learning, to be honest. A lot of these people are just that regarded. Like, they're literally incapable of learning. Like, they don't understand pattern recognition. They don't understand delayed gratification. Like, they operate 100% on whatever emotion they're feeling at the moment, and then wonder why everything's going to shit all around them. Well, this could have been avoided by introducing Hanzo Hatori or the other 6 famous ninjas. Yeah, I think the original story, like, you were playing as some warrior monk, an actual Japanese warrior monk, not Yasuke as a warrior monk. That the original story sounded way better, but of course they had to capitalize on the burn, loot, murder riots. So they made one of their main characters into, like, literal, like, hashtag not George Kirby. It sounds like female brain. That's what most of these developers have, even the allegedly male ones.